Okay, guys. So we've been talking in class the last 3 or 4 days about economics. We've been covering a lot of different economics terms. We've been sort of getting inside what it means, what economics means. And can somebody just briefly raise their hand and tell me what is economics? Shelby.
How a country makes money.
It has to partially do with how a country makes money. Money is a key part of economics. What else, Lauren?
Money is spent.
Maybe how money is spent, how actual consumers choose to spend money. Is there anything else?
How things are priced.
How prices are determined, why things cost what they do, and then how people spend their money to buy those particular products. We've talked about how countries have different economic systems. Does anybody want to remember a little bit about that?
Free market.
There's a free market system where business owners control things, and then in the command system,
And the government controls the business.
the government controls the businesses. Very good. I'm going to hand a sheet of paper out to your guys' desk. I want you to simply put your name on this piece of paper, and I'm going to ask you guys a particular question. Wait, you sit right here. Okay. Students, when you're a consumer and you decide to go and make a decision. Thank you, sir. When you decide to make a decision on what you're going to buy, there are a lot of different choices at the store. Let's say Haley has saved up her allowance for 3 weeks. She's got $20 that she can go to the mall and she can buy something. But when she gets to the mall, there's all kinds of different things there that she wants to buy. She, of course, can't afford all of those different things. She would love to get all the things that she wants, but she's got to make a choice. She's got to pick something. What is that called when you pick something over something else? Rachel?
Opportunity cost?
That is your opportunity cost. What I want everyone to do on their sheet of paper is describe a time when you've had to make an opportunity cost. When you've chosen to buy something and decided to leave something at the store or not to do something because you couldn't quite afford it. Nadia?
Do we write opportunity costs?
No, just kind of write out your answer there. Just to sort of briefly describe a situation when opportunity cost has affected your life as a consumer. I always pick. Okay, let's take about 20, 25 seconds to finish up your answer. All right, those of you finishing up, you can just finish up while I start to talk. I went around the room and I looked at a couple different answers, and there was one in particular that kind of made me laugh because it's something that affects me pretty much every time my wife and I go to the supermarket. Lauren, can you go ahead and read yours just real quickly for me?
Whether to buy store brand cereal or name brand cereal.
All right, so you go to buy your cereal. Do you buy the name brand Honey Nut Cheerios? Or do you buy the Honey Crusted O's or something from the Walmart brand? Personally, I always buy store brand because it's a lot cheaper and I think it tastes exactly the same. My wife, she only wants the name brand. We kind of battle over it. The little supermarket by my house, they sell cereal for $1 a box. Now you guys know how much Cheerios are. Cheerios are like $5 a box. So for me, I'm like, just give me that $1 box of O's. Or they have like these things called, they're like, what are those Cocoa Pebbles? They have like a version of Cocoa Pebbles that are called like KO flakes, like Cocoa Flakes. They're just the cheap brand, but I always do that. So for me, that's the opportunity cost. I do leave the more expensive name brand cereal. Did anybody else want to share something that they had? Trenton.
Like shoes, like there are 2 pairs of shoes, like one is $30 and really nice, and they last a while, but then there's a $20 pair, but they're still sort of nice, but they don't last that long.
Yeah. Can you guys ever think of a situation where you might buy cheaper shoes, and then maybe think of a situation, what would be a situation where you would buy the more expensive shoes? What would be something, Prastana?
You had like a sporting event that you needed nice shoes.
Let's say you were an athlete and you were very serious about your sport. You're going to want to spend money on those more expensive shoes. But what's a situation where you would buy the cheaper shoes, Nadia?
Like if you're just like going like to the park or something, you need some flip-flops.
Yeah, let's say you just need a pair of shoes for kind of the summer or whatever, or maybe the shoes to mow your lawn in or something. You don't care. So you're going to buy the cheaper level shoes. Exactly. That's your opportunity cost. That's what an opportunity cost is. It's when you decide to get something, the opportunity cost is what you don't get. A big part of this, and flip your papers over, everybody. A big part of this opportunity cost discussion is something we haven't exactly talked about yet. And it's right here. It's the word budget. Now, I think some of you already know what a budget is. Okay? I would imagine some of you maybe have heard your parents talk about their budget before, or at least if they didn't talk about it, you know that they care about their budget. Okay? Everybody has a budget. Every family has a budget. Every business has a budget. Every country has a budget. What I want you guys to do on the back side of this paper, very briefly, take no more than a minute or so. You don't even have to write this out as a complete answer. Just scribble down a couple thoughts. What is a budget? What do you think a budget is? I like how you're doing that. Okay, it seems like just about everyone's got some things down. Finish up as I'm finishing talking. Who can tell me what they think a budget is, Hannah?
A certain amount of money that is spent.
The certain amount of money that is spent. Okay, that's pretty good. I think we can add to it just a little bit, but yeah, I think you got the idea. Faith.
Like a certain amount of money you can spend over like a month.
The amount of money you have to spend over a month or over a certain period of time. That's a lot. I like that answer a little bit better. It's the same points. Like yours is like how much you spend in a month, and then a budget is like how much you're allowed to spend in a month. Because, frankly put, some people make more money than other people. Okay? Midori.
How much money you have and how much you can spend at a time.
How much money you have and how much you can spend at a time. That's very good.
I
Paige?
wouldn't say like you're allowed to spend. It's like what you want to spend, and like instead of having a high budget, you can just have a little lower budget.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Real quick. Most of you guys know in a couple weeks I'm going to be going where? Does anyone know where I'm going, Rachel? I'm going to Iceland. I'm taking my wife on a vacation to Iceland. We have had to save our money out of our budget each month so we can put money away for our Iceland trip. Instead of going out to a nice dinner, we put the money into an envelope. Instead of buying a new pair of shoes, we put the money into our trip fund. Now, we're leaving with our good friends, Jim and Kayla. Well, Kayla she's like a doctor, and Jim owns his own insurance company, so they make way more money than Whitney and I make. To them, the budget doesn't matter, because they got a lot of money. Well, Whitney and I, my wife and I, we're both teachers. We don't have quite as much money as they have, so we got to be a little more careful with the budget on how we're going to afford the trip. We can afford it, it's going to be a fun time, but we've had to really save for it. They're just going to go and spend their money, okay?